In this lesson, you're going to create a products page for an e-commerce site. To begin, open the Smart Method Store project from your Sample Files folder. And open products.aspx in Design View. Now add a link data source control to the page and set its ID to link data source product. Now configure the link data source to retrieve records from the product table sorted by product name. You learned how to do this in Lesson 11.1. Next, add a grid view control to the page and set its ID property to grid view product. If the text in the grid view control is very large, as you can see here, switch to source view and make sure that it is not nested inside the H2 tag. Next, use the Quick Tasks menu of the Grid View control to attach it to the Link Data Source Product data source. You learned how to do this in Lesson 11.3. Now you'll need to configure your Grid View control. First, set the Show Header property of the Grid View to false. Now open the Edit Columns dialog using the Quick Tasks menu and remove the Product ID and Product Image URL fields from the Selected Fields list. Now add an image field from the Available Fields pane. You learned about Grid View fields in Lesson 11.3. You learned about Grid View fields in Lesson 11.3. In this lesson, you're going to use an image field to display an image in a Grid View control. The only thing that makes an image field different to a normal Grid View field is that it can automatically generate the HTML code needed to display an image. In this example, paths to images are stored in the Product Image URL field in the Product Database table. To display the correct image in your image field, set the Data Image URL property to Product Image URL. Now use the arrow buttons to move your image field to the top of the list. And finally, select the Product Price field and set its data format string to 0:C and click OK. Now use Auto Format from the Quick Tasks menu and set the format to Classic. Your grid view will now display a list of products, but you'll need to add buttons to allow the user to add products to their shopping cart. The button field causes a postback when it is clicked and fires the row command event handler of the grid view control. Reopen the Edit Columns dialog and add a button field from the Available Fields pane. Now set the text property of your new button field to Add to Cart, and set the command name property to Add to Cart. The command name property is used to determine which button field has been clicked. Click OK now. In Lesson 12.7, you'll add code that will add the selected product to the shopping cart when the button field is clicked. View products.aspx in your browser now, and you can see that the page so far is working perfectly. Close your browser now, and close Visual Studio. You've now completed Lesson 12.6. Create a Products page.